Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. I think a lot of us are always looking ahead, right? Like, what skills will we need? What's going to be important for our careers down the line? Well, we found this super interesting article all about how the job of a solution architect, specifically in the world of finance, is going to totally transform by 2030. And joining me to break it all down is...
I'm excited to be here. You know what I think is really cool is this article isn't just about one specific job. It's like a window into how tech and business are like merging and reshaping how companies everywhere are going to operate.
Yeah, that's spot on. And one thing that really jumped out at me was the whole robots are coming angle. This article talks about AI automating so many of the things solution architects do now. Documentation, number crunching, even parts of the design process. I'm not going to lie, part of me is fascinated and part of me is a little freaked out. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally get that. It's easy to go down that robot takeover rabbit hole. But what if we flipped the script and thought about it as a massive opportunity? Imagine all the time solution architects spend on those kind of like repetitive tasks. If AI could handle that stuff, it would free them up to tackle the really big picture strategic work.
So instead of drowning in spreadsheets, they become the strategic masterminds.
Exactly. They'd be the ones solving the truly complex problems that need human ingenuity, creativity. Those things AI just can't replicate.
Okay, that does sound a lot more appealing than the robot takeover. But the article also stresses how important a global perspective is going to be for these future architects. It's not just about local solutions anymore. They need to understand totally different markets, cultures, and regulations. How does that even work on a practical level?
That's where things get really interesting. Imagine designing a solution that's not only scalable, meaning it can work anywhere in the world, but it also has to be sensitive to the nuances of different cultures and regulations in each place. You need a deep understanding of both the tech and the human side of things.
It's like being fluent in multiple languages at once, tech, business, cultural. So we've got AI automating tasks and this need to think globally. What other big shifts are on the horizon for these solution architects of the future?
Well, the article dives into this idea of what they call transformative leadership. It's about solution architects moving beyond just building systems. They'll be leading change within companies and for their clients.
So it's not just about building cool tech for the sake of it. It's about using that tech to help businesses actually transform and grow.
Exactly. It's about aligning tech decisions with overall business goals, making sure everything contributes to the company's success. The article even lists these 5 key strategic trusts for these future leaders. Things like building agile teams and fostering a high-performance culture.
Wow, so we're not talking about the lone tech wizard in the basement anymore. They need to be incredible communicators, collaborators, and leaders. That's a pretty hefty skill set. And then there's the whole AI piece of the puzzle. The article seems super optimistic about what AI can do for these solution architects.
Yeah, it paints a very positive picture. It talks about AI helping automate solution designs for those like standard processes. It could give them these powerful insights into what clients really need. It could even help with global collaboration.
So AI is taking care of the boring stuff, giving them these light bulb moments of insight and helping them connect with people all over the world.
That's the general idea. But here's where we need to be a little cautious. AI is powerful, no doubt, but it's not magic. It's crucial for solution architects and, honestly, anyone working with tech to be realistic. They need to understand both the amazing potential of AI and its limitations. Because at the end of the day, AI is only as good as the data it's trained on and the humans who are using it.
So it's about partnering with AI, not just blindly trusting it to fix everything.
Absolutely. And this raises a really interesting question that I want you all to think about. How could AI change your own job, even if you're not in tech? Is that an exciting thought or a scary one or maybe a bit of both? We'll dig into that more later, but for now, let's get back to this article and unpack some more of these trends it highlights. It's a question we should all be thinking about, As AI gets more and more powerful, it's going to impact every single job out there in some way.
It's like this huge tech wave is coming and we're all trying to figure out how to surf it. But okay, let's get back to this whole transformative leadership idea for a sec. The article lists a ton of skills that seem crucial for the solution architect role of the future. Honestly, it's kind of overwhelming. We're talking AI and machine learning, strategic thinking, leadership, emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, and of course, constantly learning new things. I mean, where do you even start with all that?
Well, the good news is you don't have to master everything at once. The key is to build a strong foundation and then go from there. If this field is something you're interested in, even if you're just curious about how these skills apply to your own job, I'd say start with the basics of AI and machine learning. There are so many online resources of courses out there that can get you started.
So dip your toes into the tech side, but don't get lost in the code.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, tech is a tool. It's about understanding what AI can do, what it can't do, and how you can use it to solve problems and create value. But those soft skills are just as important. Things like communication, collaboration, empathy, and being able to lead and inspire other people.
So it sounds like we're talking about a whole new kind of tech professional, someone who's not just tech savvy, but also a people person, a strategist, and maybe even a bit of a visionary.
Absolutely. And those skills aren't things you can just learn from a book. They come from experience, from taking risks, putting yourself out there, and learning from your mistakes.
So get out there, build something, break something, and learn along the way.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of finding a mentor. Having someone who's already been down the path you're interested in can be invaluable. They can give you advice, share their experiences, and help you navigate all the challenges that inevitably pop up.
It's like having a guide to help you climb that tech mountain. But something I keep thinking about is how the article is so focused on finance. Do you think these trends are unique to the financial world, or are they happening in other industries too?
That's a great question. And while this article uses finance as its main example, the truth is these trends are happening everywhere. Automation globalization can be think of the need for leaders who can drive transformation. These are challenges and opportunities that are impacting every single industry out there, from healthcare to manufacturing to entertainment.
So even if someone listening isn't dreaming of becoming a solution architect in finance, this conversation is still relevant to them.
Absolutely. Think about your own industry, your own job. How could AI change the way you work? What skills might you need to learn to stay ahead of the curve? What opportunities for growth and innovation do you see emerging?
It's like a call to action for all of us, right? To stay curious, to embrace change, and to think critically about how we can use technology to create a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But let's go back to this idea of AI as a partner for a second. You mentioned earlier how the article suggests AI can help solution architects really understand what their clients need. Can you give us a specific example of what that might look like?
Sure. Let's say you're a solution architect working with a retail company. This company wants to make their online shopping experience better. Imagine being able to use AI to analyze huge amounts of customer data, stuff like browsing history, purchase patterns, even social media activity. You could use AI to spot trends and insights that a human would never be able to find on their own.
And not just identify those insights, but actually turn them into recommendations. For example, the AI might suggest personalized product recommendations, targeted marketing campaigns. It could even suggest changes to the website's layout and design based on how customers are actually using it.
So the AI is like this super-powered research assistant helping the solution architect get a much deeper understanding of what customers want.
Precisely. But the key takeaway here is that the AI isn't making the decisions. It's giving the solution architect the information and insights they need to make smarter, more strategic choices.
So it's about augmenting human intelligence, not replacing it. But I imagine this also requires a whole new level of trust between humans and AI. How do we get to a point where we're comfortable working so closely with these intelligent machines?
That's such an important question. And honestly, it's one that we as a society are still trying to figure out. I think it comes down to education, transparency, and open communication. The more we understand about how AI works, the more comfortable we'll be using it. And the more companies are upfront about how they're using AI and what data they're collecting, the more trust they'll build with their employees and customers.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're at the beginning of something incredibly exciting, but also potentially challenging. AI is changing everything, the way we work, the way we learn, even the way we interact with the world around us. And it's up to all of us to figure out how to navigate this new landscape in a way that benefits everyone.
It really is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, right? Technology is changing so fast, and it's really up to us to decide how we use it and what kind of future we want to create.
Yeah, it's like we're writing the next chapter of human history, and AI is definitely one of the main characters. But at the end of the day, I think it's important to remember that tech is just a tool. It's the human stuff. Creativity, empathy, the ability to solve problems and build relationships, that's always going to be at the heart of any truly successful solution.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why I think this whole transformative leadership thing that the article talks about is so important. We need leaders who not only get tech, but who can also inspire people you know. Leaders who can build trust, encourage collaboration, and who can see the big picture and guide their organizations in a positive direction.
So for anyone listening who's really intrigued by this vision of the future, what advice would you give them? Like, what are some practical things they can do to start preparing for this new world of work?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say embrace this idea of continuous learning. The tech world is changing so fast that what you know today might be outdated tomorrow. So stay curious, keep exploring new ideas, and never stop learning.
It's like that saying, the only constant is change.
Exactly. And along with that, I'd really encourage people to work on their soft skills. Communication, collaboration, problem solving, emotional intelligence. Those are the skills that will make you stand out, especially in a world where AI is handling more and more of the technical tasks.
So hit the books, but also get out there and talk to people, build relationships, and learn how to work effectively in teams.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment, to take risks, and to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's how you learn and grow.
It sounds like the future belongs to the people who are adaptable, who are lifelong learners, and who are passionate about using tech to make a positive impact.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. And remember, even if you're not planning to become a solution architect, these trends are going to impact every single job out there. So the sooner you start thinking about how you can adapt and evolve, the better prepared you'll be for the future of work.
Well, I think we've covered a ton of ground today. We talked about how AI is automating tasks, how solution architects are becoming more strategic and globally minded, and how crucial those soft skills and continuous learning are in this ever-changing world.
Yeah, and maybe even more importantly, we've talked about how all of this isn't just about technology, it's about people. It's about using tech to empower people to create new opportunities and to build a better future for everyone.
It's been a really thought-provoking conversation, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to embrace the challenges and opportunities that are coming our way.
I hope so too, because the future is what we make it.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.